As individuals, we often feel alone in our thoughts, unseen in our behaviors, and unheard in our words. I'm Dr. Millicent Rose. I'm a therapist and a professor of clinical psychology. Today, we will be courageously sharing the things that we often think we're going through by ourselves. I'm going to read off a list of statements. For each statement, please stand and raise your umbrella if you agree. Stay seated if you disagree. I sometimes feel like I have to wear makeup so I don't get told I look tired.
I grew up with a lot of dark eyes. I've seen on videos that people have commented, so then I started using like concealer on the eyes for the videos.
I actually don't know if it's about what other people tell me more than just like what I feel about myself. Once I hit 30, I'm just like, oh no, I'm scared of looking old. Let me put something on this face.
I have given someone a fake number or a fake name.
Sometimes people don't understand that no means no.
I just did it to with people.
I have felt nervous when being pulled over.
Hell yeah. They do come off a little bit aggressive, and it kind of agitates me a little bit, and I do become a little bit nervous.
I feel like I'm not allowed to ask questions or advocate for myself or even question what's going on at all. Any speaking that's not just yes sir is not allowed. That is really uncomfortable and scary.
I have hesitated or am uncomfortable displaying PDA with my significant other.
With my current partner who is trans and non-binary, especially when traveling, things can feel very not safe.
I got like spit at with my ex-girlfriend. They were like, get the rope, and ever since then I've been just terrified to do anything, even when I'm in areas that I know are really accepting.
I think it's more so having hid myself for so long that I'm still getting comfortable being able to show it in public.
I have been bullied online for my identity.
People like to tell me that I'm not Mexican enough or that I'm not Latina enough on the internet. That's been something that I struggle with sometimes.
I've like recently started putting like my eating disorder journey on my social media, and I've gotten so much like, your eating disorder isn't that bad, or like, you don't look like you have an eating disorder anymore, which is like really damaging.
I have hesitated speaking my native language in front of others.
Here in LA, it's been more accepting, but even so, when I go to other states, I feel very uncomfortable, like calling my mom and talking Spanish. Deep in my head, I'm afraid that like they're gonna say some comment or do anything worse.
In my college graduation, that was only like 3 years ago, my mom told me that they were speaking in Spanish with my family, and someone turned around and told them that they should be speaking English.
I was me in the Navy, and I'm not gonna say only white sailors, there was also some whitewashed Latinos that will turn to us and be like, this is America, you do not speak Spanish here. And, you know, go back to Mexico. And I'm like, I'm Dominican. And second of all, we in Thailand.
Can I say something about that? I've like had conversations with my mom, who's Chinese and grew up speaking pretty much only Chinese and Tagalog. My mom said that like her family immigrated here. They were just forced to learn English. It's just really sad to me because I would love to know how to speak it. Like it's just like we're losing that culture like every generation, and it just sucks.
I have been hesitant or uncomfortable around food.
Do you want to say anything, May? I'm just asking, because I will.
Yeah, you can say so.
Okay. There's a lot of stereotypes and guilt and shame, and just being out, like, eating, like, a cheeseburger. When I know, like, my smaller friends can be sitting there with, like, a whole table of food, but no one will ever question them. But I so much as put one thing that is not healthy in my mouth, and that's why I'm fat, that's why I'm made how I am, and that's why I'm gonna die before everybody else.
I am not allowed to donate blood.
I'm anemic, and I'm also underweight, so I can't donate blood. I have a brother who has a heart condition, so he's in constant need of blood transfusions. I can't help my brother because of that.
I can't donate blood either due to the rule about men having sex with other men. I actually ran the blood drives in high school, and I mean, at the time, I would like do the the screenings, so it was always uncomfortable being like, I'm like you, but unfortunately, according to rules of our government, you cannot give blood. It still was always in the back of my mind. I won't be able to donate by the time that I finally can.
So repeat after me. Because of who I love.
Because of who I love.
My blood isn't good enough.
My blood isn't good enough.
I have often kept my drink covered with my hand at a bar.
You just never know. My biggest fear is just someone slipping something into my drink.
Even when I enjoy myself.
Even when I enjoy myself.
And I drink.
And I drink.
I have to fear being violated.
I have to fear being violated.
I have thought about my skin color when I walk into a room.
You knowing how you look like first, you're already assume how other people are gonna perceive you. It's just the way that your world is.
I'm going into like this newer phase of my life of house hunting, really having to worry about everything from my skin tone to the way I dress just to get a chance at them considering me.
I have hesitated before joining a religious organization because of my identity.
I just grew up in a really religious household, surrounded by a lot of very religious people who I know didn't accept who I was even before I knew who I was. So I have literally no inclination to want to ever be a part of a religious organization because of that.
My dad, who's black, my mom is white. We lived in a very predominantly white area. Everything was fine. I was going to Sunday school, and my dad's brother passed away. At the end, they invite you up to give your condolences, and like nobody went up to my dad and said anything to him. And we were the only like people of color. Religion is supposed to be about community, and then it so clearly isn't, has kept me away a little bit.
I feel uncomfortable wearing a hoodie up at night.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you walk around with a hoodie and you're black and you're a dude, you're already perceived as a threat. You gotta think twice whether you're walking around with a hoodie, especially a black hoodie.
I have had to worry about my family being targeted because of their race.
So my parents don't know any English. They're from Puerto Rico, fully American citizens, yet every time they come for a fun vacation, everything is a challenge and they live in constant fear of being targeted. I feel sad for them because they worked extra hard for us so we wouldn't have to go through it.
I just think about how they tried, my parents, to really do well in this country, to be constantly thinking in the back of my mind that if they speak Spanish or if someone knows that they're Mexican or immigrants, that they're gonna be, you know, harassed in a certain way. Like hearing my mom tell me that at my own graduation, like someone told her to speak English. I think that's what keeps me up at night, is I worry about them.
Huge deep breaths.
Me and my sisters were never really worried about us because we're like white passing enough or whatever, but my mom and my Asian grandparents, it was like so scary when there was like so many hate crimes going on. And even like in the grocery store, hearing people talk about like the Chinese virus or whatever, and just like worrying like if somebody was going to do something to somebody that I loved, it's really scary.
I have texted a friend my whereabouts just in case.
I would always drop the location for my friends and like let them know exactly where we were going, what type of car he had, if he was driving me. There are so many missing black women that no one cares to look for or find.
So I think it's been like so ingrained into my brain that like you need to do those things no matter what. I think generally when I go anywhere alone, I'm just scared and I don't really have a specific thing that I'm scared of.
Can I ask you all to repeat after me? My gender?
My gender
Makes me vulnerable.
makes me vulnerable.
I have been followed in a store because they were afraid I was going to steal something.
Definitely yes. It's frustrating because I know why they're following me because they think I'm gonna steal, even by my own people. That's the sad part about it.
I have needed to explain my sexuality to my parents.
I'm like very fortunate that they were very loving and welcoming. I think they still were like, oh, like what took so long? And it's just like you're expected to come out and have it be like a whole thing. I just wanted to bring someone back. Still working on it. We'll get there.
While we all are very different, we have a lot of similar experiences, I think based on the questions that were asked.
I'm just hoping that people with privilege realize that this could be somebody's walk of life and take that with consideration.
An open conversation about these things will better help each other to help each other.
Even in places like this where things feel destructive, one of the things that we are entitled to is to hold on to hope. That there is going to be some enlightenment, there is going to be alleviation, and that being confronted with negative feelings is not going to be the thing that destroys us. It's one more thing to make us a little bit more stronger, to help us understand ourselves and the world around us. Today I saw a lot of good in the people here, and I hope that they're able to take this experience and make it transformative.